Hello, everybody. Here, this problem refers to something about dreaming in black and white. Okay. I always dream in color, but there may be people who dream in black and white. All right. And why is that? Well, when I was a kid, there was a show called I Love Lucy, among other shows that I watched back then. And I Love Lucy was always in black and white. And I asked my parents, why is this show in black and white? What's that all about? And they told me, well, it's because it's old. Okay. I said, okay, well, so at that time it was, I think around 30 years old. Okay. And so I thought when shows reached the 30-year mark, they automatically change from color to black and white. In other words, I thought that when things got old enough, everything would change to black and white. Okay. But now I know better than that. um, but anyway, so we surveyed 306 people over the age of 55 who I'm sure watched a lot of shows that are black and white. And they say that when they dream, they also, 68 also dreamed in black and white. And then people under the age of 25, they probably only remember color. Maybe they've never seen a black and white TV show in their life. And so in that case, we have 298 people under the age of 25, and it says only a small fraction of those, which is 13, dream in black and white. Okay, so it looks like already a lot more. It looks like people over the age of 55 dream in black and white a lot more than those people under the age of 25. It seems like. Okay. And it says here we want to use a zero point zero 0.01 significance level to test the claim that the proportion of people over 55 who dream in black and white is greater than the proportion of those under 25. And just looking at the sample there, it seems to be true. All right. But with any claim, we want to make a claim about the entire population. So using this sample of, of two different groups of people, we want to make a claim that more people over the age of 55 dream in black and white than those people under the age of 25 in the entire population. All right. I already did A part in another video, and so we're going to do the B part. All right, now the B part, we need to symbolically write down the claim. All right, to do that, we're gonna notice we have two different groups of people here. So let's identify who's group one, who's group two. So let's go ahead and just doesn't matter which group is which. So let's just make group one be over 55. And we'll make group two be under 25. All right. And again, we think that the proportion of people over 55 who dream in black and white is greater than the proportion of those under 25. And we're using proportion. And so for proportion, we want to use P. So P1 will be the group one, which is over 55. And we think that the proportion P1 is greater than the proportion of those under 25. And so we want to claim that P1 is greater than P2, P2 being the group 2 proportion, which is the proportion of people under the age of 25. All right. Now let's put in the complement statement. So the complement is exactly the opposite of the claim. So in this case, we want to ask ourselves, what if we don't have greater than? All right. So so as a simple example, let's suppose you want to be greater than 7. Okay. And we'll go and highlight greater than 7, which is to the right-hand side. All right, now 7 is not greater than 7, is it? And so we don't want to include the 7 in this green region. So to enforce that 7 is not a part of that green region, we'll put a circle there at 7. All right, so this means if you're greater than 7, you must be in that green region, which is strictly to the right of the 7. The complement is exactly that region that's not shaded in green. So what is not shaded in green? Well, let's use a different color here. Let's use yellow. So if you're not shaded in green, you must be yellow at 7 and less than 7. So that means if you're not greater than 7, you must be equal to or less than 7. And so what does this mean for this one? We can say P1 is less than or equal to P2. So if you're not greater than, you must be less than or equal to. In other words, if you're not green, you must be yellow. All right, now the HO is either going to be the claim statement or the complement statement. It's whichever statement has the equal sign inside it. So let's see. So out of the claim and the complement, we see an equal sign inside the less than or equal to. And so the HO is going to be the P1 less than or equal to P2. But we can just go ahead and just put P1 equal to P2, and that would be fine. Okay, now the H1 is whichever statement we didn't choose just now. So again, the H1 is either the claim or the complement. So we already chose the less than or equal to theoretically for the HO. So that means the other statement must be the H1. In other words, the H1 is the statement without the equal sign inside it. So which of the claim or the complement does not have an equal sign inside it? That must be the claim statement, which is P1 greater than P2. So P1 greater than P2 is our H1 statement in this problem. All right. Now, we're going to do the rest of this problem on StatDisk. All right, here's StatDisk right here. All right. Now, we have two different groups here, and we're doing a test with a proportion. So for StatDisk, at statdisk.com, we'll choose analysis, and then we'll choose hypothesis testing, and then we'll choose proportion to samples. All right, now we got to put in the H1 or the HA. So if I do this drop-down menu, I have a choice of either not equal to, greater than, or less than. So let's see which one it is. We want to put in the greater than. So the H1 has a greater than, so choose greater than. So we're going to choose population proportion 1 greater than population proportion 2. Now, we're going to put in the significance level. So the significance level, let's recall what that was. The significance level is 0.01. So let's put in 0.01. All right, now we're going to put in the information for sample 1 and sample 2. So let's see, sample 1 is sample size N1. So in this case, that's going to be, let's see, group 1 is over 55. So we'll put in for sample size N1, how many people over 55 in our survey. So there are 306 people over 55. All right, and number of successes X1, that's how many of them, in this case, dreamed in black and white. So out of 306 people, 68 of them dreamed of black and white, so 68 is our X1. Now sample 2, that's our group of people under 25, and we have 298 people under the age of 25, so we'll put that in for N2. And out of the 298 people, 13 of them dreamed of black and white, so we'll put 13 in for X2. All right, there's all the information. Now we'll click Evaluate. And we have a 98% confidence interval right here, which is 0.11684 less than P1 minus P2. less than 0.24036. All right. So again, we have 0.11684 less than P1 minus P2 less than 0.24036. All right. Now, whenever we do a test with a confidence interval, we're always concerned whether or not 0 is in the interval. All right. So see if it is. Let's draw the picture. All right. And 0.11684 is over here somewhere, theoretically. And 0.24036 is a bigger number, so it's to the right somewhere, theoretically. Maybe right here. And where is 0? Well, 0 is less than every positive number. And so over here somewhere, theoretically, 0 is over here. And P1 minus P2 is in this yellow region between 0.11684 and 0.24036. So we ask ourselves, is 0 in that interval? Well, it's not, is it? That's because the yellow region is entirely greater than 0, which is in the positive region. And so we can say that P1 minus P2 is always positive or greater than 0, always. Okay, so again, because the yellow region is strictly to the right of 0, that means we can definitely say that P1 minus P2, which is the yellow region, is definitely positive or greater than 0. And if we add P2 to both sides, then we can definitely say always that P1 is greater than P2. All right, and let's see what the claim was. Well, the claim was indeed P1 greater than P2. So our claim statement turned out to be true. So definitely in the population, people who are over 55 are of greater proportion who dream of black and white than those people who are under 25. All right. Okay, now next at the, let's see. So C part is interesting. So that's the B part actually. So remember I did A part in another video. And so this was B part. So C part, an explanation given for the results is that those over the age of 55 grew up exposed to media that was mostly displayed in black and white. So can the results from parts A and B be used to verify the explanation? It might, but we're not entirely too sure. But it seems to have maybe some influence. So we'll just say perhaps. But it may not be entirely true because maybe some other factors are involved. All right. And that's how to use that disk to test a claim with proportion that are two independent samples and using a confidence interval to test that claim.